Hello everyone, welcome to William and the Magic Box. Today on our show, we are going to have Lucio. Lucio is from Rio de Janeiro in Brazil. So let's see what Lucio has to say. Enjoy the interview. So hello Lucio, how are you today?
I'm fine. I'm fine, William. It's amazing to be here after we were like waiting so many time. Now we are together at this
Amazing.
fantastic project you have.
It meant to be today. It meant to be today. I think, as I was mentioned before to you, I think this weekend is a celebration in England with the queens. I think everything now is about the queen.
Yes.
I'm glad that we are doing today because I think it's a special date here in England. But Lucio, tell me before we start the game, tell me where you're from.
So I'm from Rio de Janeiro. I was born in Rio.
Mhm.
I lived all my life in Rio, but during my childhood, I spent 1 year in Azores, the Azores Islands, one of the islands. All my family is there. So my daddy came from Azores to Brazil, to Rio. And so when I was 8 years old, I went to the Ilha Terceira. It's one of the islands, and I
Right.
lived there for 1 year. But the rest of my life always in Rio, Brazil.
So your dad is Portuguese and your mom is Brazilian.
My mom is Brazilian from São Paulo.
Oh my God, that's amazing, amazing. And so all your family now they live still in Açores, or they?
Yeah. From my daddy's side, they are all there. I just have one uncle here in Brazil.
Right?
And from my mom's side, spread all over Brazil. Brazilians, they go everywhere.
We are everywhere, everywhere in the world you find a Brazilian person, for sure.
Yeah.
And Lucio, tell me, what's the best part of living in Rio de Janeiro, in your opinion?
You know what? Rio is a beautiful city. No one can deny that. Rio has all the challenges that a big city has. But despite of that, it's a beautiful city. But what I think is amazing here is that Rio is in the coast of Brazil, so we have beautiful beaches. But if you drive your car like 1 hour, you are in the mountains in a totally different climate, totally different culture. So I'm an example of that. I live in Petropolis, which is 80 kilometers from downtown Rio.
Right.
And here is like a German city with German culture, German parties, and is where the royal family lived when Brazil was a monarchy. So you have all these old buildings, old houses, museums. I have a cathedral in front of my apartment. So
Wow.
it's like you are not in Rio here, and it's so close to the beaches. So that's what I think is amazing this city.
It's I have a friend of mine from Rio, and he got some relatives in Petropolis, and I went to visit once, and I felt like I was in Europe because it was a bit.
Yeah.
It wasn't too hot; it was kind of chill. The weather, and I was like, oh my God, I could have a hot chocolate easily right now.
Yeah. This is one of the best things to do in this city.
Yeah. Lucio, and tell me, what do you do for a living?
So I work for the U.S. government for the last 15 years at the U.S. Consulate General in Rio de Janeiro. That means my commute is I take the bus in Petropolis and I travel every morning to downtown Rio, back and forth to work. But this is the price we pay to live in Petropolis. So, but I worked for the State Department for 11 years, and now I'm working for the Department of Justice for the last 4 years.
Amazing. And I believe as well that you are a writer as well. You have two novels already published. I believe.
Yes. So in my free time, I'm an author. I have 2 novels published in Brazil. One is, I have them here, let me show you.
Yes,
One
please show us.
So, this is A Sombra das Cerejeiras.
Right.
In English would be In the Shadow of the Cherry Trees, which is a novel that is during the Second War in Europe. And I talk about, it's fiction, it's a novel, but I talk about the Holocaust and all those issues that happened in Europe during the Second War. And this is O Maestro das Baleias, is the last one I published in 2020. And this boy is my son.
Oh my God.
And this picture was taken in Azores, in the island of Azores, because this book is a novel that talks a lot about my childhood when I was living there. So both of them were like a big trip, a big journey for me while I was writing. The A Sombra das Cerejeiras, when I started talking about the Holocaust, I took a flight to Washington, and I spent 1 week in the Museum of the Holocaust in Washington to gather information, because I was talking about a very delicate episode of us, of the human being. And the other one is about my childhood. So I used to say that when we write, before the person that is reading the book, there is us that are writing and living that experience, which is just amazing.
Oh my God. I'm sure they're very special. I'm sure very close to your heart.
Yes.
So you mentioned that you have a son.
Yeah, Kyle, his name.
How old is your son?
He's now 18 years old and preparing himself to get in the university. Wow. He wants to do medicine, so he has to study a lot. Actually, is what he's doing now. He said, "Daddy, you're gonna participate in an interview. Please speak slow and not too loud because I'm studying."
So let's be very quiet.
I don't know if I can be very quiet, William. I'm not quiet at all.
You know, we Brazilian people, we are like Italians. We tend to speak very loud with our hands, very expressive all the way. Don't we?
You know, we want to know new people all the time.
Absolutely.
We like to dance. We like to sing. We are very interesting people.
Okay, Lucio. So through our journey, I'm going to explore more a little bit about your job, about your career, and also about your books as well. And are you ready to go on a beautiful journey through your memories in life and to share your point of views?
Okay.
Welcome to William and the Magic Box. So I have here my best friend. Full of random fun questions, okay? What I'm going to do now, I'm just going to play a song just for us to get a bit in the mood before the first question. And I just hope it's not too loud. It's not going to disturb your son, okay?
The door is closed.
Let's do it. Okay, Lucio, from Rio de Janeiro. So just before we start the game, through the journey, if there is a question that you don't want to talk about for some reason, you don't want to answer, always can change, okay? It's all very fun. Okay, cool. First question for you is, what are the top 3 things on your bucket list?
Yes. So I like a lot to travel. So traveling is something that for me, I used to say that when we travel, we are changing the clothes of our soul, because the experience that we gather in a travel, no one can take it from you. And I worked for the civil aviation, the aviation industry, for 15 years. I worked for Pan Am. I'm not Jurassic, but I worked for Pan Am, and I worked for American Airlines.
Wow.
And so I had the opportunity to know a lot of places in the world and a lot of interesting people all over the world. So travel for me is a goal in my life. To new people is another thing that for me is very interesting. So you always see me in a party or in a restaurant, like trying to talk to someone that I don't know, like you do. I think your project, your job is amazing because you are knowing people from all over the world. It's very interesting. And knowledge. And knowledge is important for me in sense of I try to give the best study I can to my son. Actually, I moved to Petropolis for him to study in a school that is very, very good and is located in Petropolis.
Okay.
And I try to pass my view of life, my view of the world through my books. So I like to share what I know with people through my books. So knowledge is something that is very important too.
I think learning every day, I think that's something that we should always be up for it. You should always be able approach, for new experiences, knowledge. I think learning every day, it's a magical thing, I believe.
Yeah, sure.
Saying that, Lucio, you said that you lived as a child, you lived sometime in Azores, in the island, yeah? Besides that, did you ever live abroad in other country as well for long periods or not?
No, I never lived anywhere else, but I spent a big part of my life in the US because working for Pan Am and working for American Airlines, I always had a meeting or something to do in the US. Pan Am was headquartered in New York. So right. I was going to William. In 2 years, I went to New York in Pan Am. I went to New York 32 times in two years. There was always a training, always a meeting, and when was not working was for leisure, for the weekend, because we had the free tickets. So was not expensive to go to New York at that time, and especially with a free ticket. And then in American Airlines, the headquarters was in Dallas, and there was a division in Miami, so always going to Dallas to Miami. So I spent a lot of time in the US, but never lived there. Spending 1 week, 2 weeks. But...
Okay. All right. Actually, I think you've been there so many times that if you would put all together, it would be a lot of, maybe a year, or you know what I mean?
More. And there was a time, William, that I used to say to people that I drove better in Miami, in Florida, than in Rio, because I always renting a car in the Miami airport and driving all over Miami and Florida. So I used to say that I was a better driver in Florida than in Rio. I'm gonna just open the door because my cat is here asking to open the door.
I could hear like a noise, like, my God, there's a cat around, jumping around.
Her name is Domitila.
Oh.
Domitila is the name of the lover of the empire, Don Peter II.
Wow.
And she's just like a lover of an empire. She demands all the time.
Cats, they are the queen or the king of the house. They are in charge, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Next question, let's do it. Okay, Lucio from Brazil. Next question for you is very easy question. Do you have any nicknames?
Yes, I have one. is Nino. Nino, Nino. The person who gave me this nickname is my niece. She's now 26 years old, but she still calls me Nino.
And all your families, like your parents always call you Nino, or no? It's just some part of your family.
No, just her, actually.
Just her.
And this is the only nickname. But I never had a nickname in my family, not even in my work environment or school. But in the aviation industry, I was called Gil, Gil, which is my last name. My name is Lucio Carlos dos Santos Gil. And so we are greeted by the last name in the airport or wherever. So I was known as Gil for a long time.
Wow, interesting. Next question, let's do Lucio. Okay, next question for you is, what hurt your feelings?
So friendship is something that I value a lot. And when a friend that I consider, and when I start a friendship relation, I'm open-hearted. I want that person to be part of my life. I want to be part of the life of this person, whatever I can do to help. I used to say that we have two families, the bloody family and the universal family. And so I've been looking for my universal family since I was very young, and I've made a lot of very, very valuable friends. But some of them stay, some of them just become a diamond in our memory. And this is something that I read yesterday. Because, when a friend leaves, sometimes hurt your feelings. But I read this, some friends stay, some friends becomes a diamond in our memory. And this is what is important. It's not important if that person is going to stay forever in your life, but it's important that if the person leaves, becomes a diamond in your memory. This is something that I learned yesterday.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. I totally agree. I think in our lives, friends, they come, some of them they go, some of them come back again, but some of them they stay forever, even though they are not close to you, like physically, but mentally or anywhere else in the world, they are close. My best friend, he lives in Canada, and actually, I have so many good friends here in London as well, but he's the one who I talk to the most. He's the one who I'm more, so there's no distance. He's French, and we don't have the different mother language, we are totally the opposite. We have different point of views. We work in different areas, but even though we are very close. It's so interesting that, isn't it?
Yes.
It does. I think relationships I think friendship. It's like a relationship. When the chemistry is there, that's it. You don't go around saying, "Okay, you're gonna be my best friend." It doesn't work like that. The connection is started. That's it. I think that's what I believe about friendship as well. That's my.
That's true.
Ready for another one?
Another one?
Another question?
Yes, ready. I was just thinking about you were saying, and sometimes you meet someone and that you don't see for a long time, and it's like you have met this person the day before. I was just thinking so let's go to another one.
Another question. Do it. Next question for you, Lucio. Let's do it. Describe yourself in one positive word and one negative word only.
So one positive word. Loyalty. Yes. When when someone, I mean, people can trust on me uh, as a friend, as a husband, as a father. I I do all my best. And the negative word, jealous.
Oh, wait a minute. Are you a Scorpio on a star sign?
No, I'm Cancer,
Okay.
and with Capricorn on the other side. But there is another thing. I'm jealous, but I don't let people notice. So the problem stays with me anyway. So.
But you always being jealous. You always have this personality of being jealous since a young age. Since as
Yeah.
a, yeah.
Yeah, this is something that of course, if I'm aware of it, that means I've been working on it.
Absolutely.
To be aware is 50% of the way.
Halfway,
So
yeah.
so I think I'm getting better. I'm getting better.
I'll tell you something now, Lucio. It's interesting saying that because that's one of my, let's say, challenging part of my personality as well. Jealousy. If I could change something about myself, personality way, it would be that. Because something that I've been working on through my life, you know, and it's always going to be there anyway. But as you said, when you are aware of it, when you know how to control, let's say. It's going to be there forever because it's part of ourselves, part of our personality. But
Yeah.
it's there, and yeah, I totally know. That's why I asked if you're a Scorpio, because I'm Scorpio, and one of the biggest characteristics of Scorpios in astrology is jealousy, being jealous. It's something that is very strong. Anyway, at least we know. At least we know.
At least we know. Yeah, this is. We are getting better.
Next question. Let's see. Lucio, before the next question, when you think about your childhood memories back in Azores, in the islands, what's the best memories that comes to your mind when you think about?
There are two that are the main ones. One is the entire family at night in the kitchen, everybody together and talking, because I lived there in 1975. At that time, there was no electricity in the island, so there was no television. There were no lights, so my grandmother's house was lighted by candles. And all the families, my father was the oldest of six brothers, and all of them were married, and all of them had their kids, and everybody used to come to my grandmother's house every night to chat, to talk, and the kids all playing. So this was an experience that for me was so strong that I wrote a book about it, mentioning some of these things. And the other is the landscape of the island. I was able to see the entire Atlantic Ocean around the island. My grandma's house, from my bedroom, from the window of my bedroom, I could see the Atlantic Ocean and two other islands.
Wow.
So was waking up in this place every morning was a dream. When I came back to Rio, was so different. Was impacting.
Wow. So as you mentioned before, and of course regarding your childhood, it's actually your novel, your book. It's about that, your childhood back there. So tell me a little bit about your book. How did you put everything together? How long did it take for you to put the whole ideas on the book? And also, how long did it take for you to put everything together until the end?
Okay, so first, I I'm not talking. It's not a biography. I'm not talking about myself, but I I picked some experiences that I lived, and I put in the boy of the story in the book. So,
Uh-huh.
uh, William, it's so weird to talk about this because everyone that I see, all the authors, they make like a strategy to write a book, especially a novel with a
Mm-hmm.
big story. They write about each person in the story, then what they are gonna talk about, blah blah blah. It never happened to me in any of those two books, neither in the books that I'm gonna launch now. So I start writing, and then the story becomes to have a place in the space, a time, and the all the characters start raising, blowing up, and then there is a time that I'm a follower. I'm just following the life of each of these people in the story.
I see.
Is the way of my imagination and my process of creativeness is this way. That's why for me it's a journey. For me is a trip to write a book. In the first book, A Sombra das Cerejeiras, I was invited to an international event for authors in Ilha de São Miguel, in Portugal, in Azores, because of that book.
Oh,
And
wow.
when I arrived there, William, there were authors from Europe, from the US, from Africa, and from Brazil. There was me and two more, and we started discussions. It was so funny because I arrived in the airport in the island, and there was a like a he was one of the coordinators of the event. He came to me. He was with a jacket and a tie, and with a list of names. And I said, "Oh, I'm Lucio from Rio de Janeiro." This was in 2009, 2 years after I launched the book. And he said, oh, "Okay, Lucio Gil from Rio de Janeiro. You see those buses? Those you are not going on those buses. There is a limo there waiting for you." And I had just one book with him. And I
Wow.
said, "Okay." So I went to he said, "The other two Brazilians are already there waiting for you." So I went with my carry-on luggage to the limo. When I arrived in the limo, the other two authors were Luiz Fernando Veríssimo and Luiz Antônio de Assis Brasil. So I did like you. I did the same as you. And I got back to the guy and I said, "You guys made a mistake." And he said, "Why we made a mistake? Aren't you Lucio?" I said, "Yes." And he said, "Aren't you Lucio from Rio de Janeiro?" I said, "Yes." "So go there because the car's not going to wait for you anymore." And so I went back with my luggage and I said to Verissimo, "Excuse me." And I sit in the car. It was amazing. It was a great event. Discussions all the time about a lot of things. We spent 1 week there.
Wow.
And this was with the first book, William. So it was a very, very good experience. When you write a book, the book it has wings. It goes all over the universe. You don't know where your book is gonna be, who is gonna be reading it, and
Wow.
that's the most magical of writing, you know.
What an amazing story, Lucy. Oh my God. My good, that's amazing. Wow. And it was your first book. Wow.
Yeah. Now
Amazing.
I'm going to the third one. I'm launching the third one about dynamic meditation.
Okay.
It's gonna be published in the US, and I'm writing this book together with Lucia Matuonto.
I
So
see.
Yeah.
see. And when is going to be out the book? Is already settled or not yet?
So I finished my part. Lucia is finishing her part, and then we have to, of course, go throughout the process of publishing a book. So we are planning September, maybe August, end of August, beginning of September, to have this book. There will be an international book fair in September, and we want to have this book published at the time of the fair.
Amazing, very good. Next question for you is, what is your funniest memory of your time at school?
I studied in a Catholic school, and I think students of Catholic schools, they are, because we cannot do a lot of things, we become, more
Tempted.
complicated than other students. But I don't have any very funny memory, but I remember that there was a music contest in the school, and I authored a samba, which is our Brazilian rhythm, Brazilian music. And I was very young, and I remember that was the stage singing that samba, and there were a lot of people and judges. It was a big event. And I was very small, very young, because I was too young in school. I was 2 years less than my colleagues.
Wow.
For example, when all my classmates had 13 years old and they were already dating, I was just 11. And so and I entered in university with 16, too young too.
Wow.
So at that time in the school, singing the samba at the stage, I was 13 years old, something like that. And I remember that I saw everybody dancing in the audience. And I said, oh gosh, they are liking it.
As a child, did you like school, Lucio? Did you like going to school as a child? Did you like studying?
Yeah. Yes, I always liked to study. I was like my son. He's the same. He's studying now and he likes it. I remember of waking up in the morning like anxious to go to school to see my classmates.
Wow.
Yeah.
Very good. 3 questions left for you, okay? Let's do it. Okay, Lucio from Brazil. Next question for you is, talking about school, about dating, tell me what is the best first date have you ever been on?
Well, I don't remember if she was the first one. but I remember of dating a girl from the school, and she was not from my classroom, because as I said, I was younger than my classroom, so I could not date anyone from my classroom. And I looked younger too. It was
really?
Not only being younger, but I looked like a boy. But I dated with a girl that she was from another classroom. She was younger than me. And at that time, she was doing publicity in the television. Wow. She was a beautiful girl. She had a beautiful eyes, beautiful hair. And there was an English course that she was the girl in the television talking about the English course. And so she was famous in school. And so we started dating, because actually, I don't remember if it was me or her that wanted to start dating. But I became famous because I was dating with the famous girl of the school.
Of course, of course.
Was my 5 minutes of,
Of fame.
of fame.
Amazing. That's fun. I think all of us, we have those memories back in our childhoods, don't we? We always remember those memories. Lucio, 2 questions left. Let's do it. Before the next one, as I could see your eyes shining when you were talking about your son, tell me so far, what's the most beautiful lesson you've learned from him so far?
William, my son is an old spirit. So since he was too young, I learned a lot from him. And it's not just because we learn from children, especially him. He was very young when he came to me talking about the kids that were living in the streets. And I have one episode that I like to say. I bought a new car. My son was 7 years old at that time, and I bought a new car. And I was driving, he was behind me. My wife was beside me, and he was behind me. And we stopped in a red light, and there was a very young kid begging for money, and he said, "Daddy, let's take this boy to be my brother." And I said, "No, I can't. He has a father and he has a mother." And my son said, "He doesn't have a mother because if he had a mother, her mother would not let him be at the street, at the red light asking for money because this is dangerous." Wow. And I said, "No, let me tell you, Caio, her mother knows he's here, and her mother forces him to be here to make money and take money home." And I said, and besides that, we cannot adopt him because you know how much it costs to adopt a kid. It's a lot of money. And my son said, "How much did you spend in this car?"
Wow.
What are you gonna answer to a kid of 7 years old when he says something like that to you?
Oh,
but
my God.
This is one, just I'm just mentioning one, but there were other moments that he came to me very young and with an attitude of like an adult, and I'm very thankful for that. And another thing that I learned with him is a kind of love that you don't know when you don't have a son. So we have different kinds of love, but for a son, I tell you, you give your life. And I just realized that when he was born, and something automatic, because a baby in your house is totally another life. So if you don't get this automatic passion, I don't think you survive, because you are not going to sleep anymore. You're not.
Oh, that's sweet. That's very sweet. I think the connection between kids and their parents, it's unique. There's no explanation. It's just genuine. It's just beautiful. It's love involved. So I totally understand. Next question for you is, Lucio, if you could be any age, what age would you choose and why?
I would choose the age I'm today for 2 reasons. First reason is that maturity is something unpayable. And the second thing is that that's the time I'm living now. So to be now talking to you, I was not doing this 2 hours ago. Maybe I don't know when I'm going to do that again. So what I'm living now, it's unpayable. So we need to understand that we need to live the present. We gotta manage the past. We gotta manage the future. Plan, not manage, but plan the future. But actually, what we have is to live the present. So that's now is my best time.
Wow. Wow. I think we should always remember about living the present. The present, it's a gift. I think we should always be grateful and always be living the present, because even nowadays, the world is so fast with technology, everything so fast. Sometimes we forget to live the day, the moment. Totally agree. I totally assign underneath your statements.
Thank you.
Lucio, ready for the last one?
Yeah.
Last question. Let's do it. But before the last question, you know those 2 years that the world literally went upside down regarding the COVID crisis, yeah? Personally for you, what's the biggest positive impacts that brought to your personal life, and also the most challenging part as well, if you can share?
Yeah, so the positive part is that was, if we can find something positive, because those two years with lockdown and everything, I had COVID, and was challenging, but the positive part was that I could focus more in myself and in my life, because I'm a person that, besides my job, I'm always doing something. I'm always writing a new book. I'm always meeting people, and sometimes you forget about yourself.
Yes.
You forget who you really are, who you really need. So I had the opportunity to practice more dynamic meditation, to do more, to think more about my life, to do that exercise, what I have been doing till now, what I'm gonna do for the future, and what I'm living now. So this was positive at the end. What was negative is the opposite. The friends, they stayed each one in their houses. No, I felt a lot about not getting along, getting together with my friends. And what is still negative about that is that till today, I don't know if people get used to that, but till today has been a little difficult to get everyone together again.
Yeah.
So I think people get used to stay in their houses, so I want to see everybody together again. That's like normal life.
Absolutely. Last question for you is, what is the best gift have you ever received, and from whom?
I would say from my daddy. He has already passed away, but I remember then I entered in the university. I'm a lawyer. I studied law, and I was 16 years old when I entered in the university, and everybody was very proud of me because I was too young in the university. And my daddy said, "I'm not proud. You were doing your best, but I think you should also get a job, because just studying is not a good, project. You should also get a job and work." And I said, "Gosh, everybody's proud of me and my father is not." But my father made me strong. My father gave me the most precious lesson, that I have to go after my dreams. I have to work. I have, you know what? And so, and I think about him always. Uh, in the book, there is in the first pages, you thank people, right? And
Yeah.
I thank for my father for that, for making me strong to go after my dreams and blah, blah, blah. So this is the real gift that I consider that I received. It was from him.
What's his name?
João.
João, whatever he is right now, he's even more prouder than you can imagine, for sure, just with this beautiful words just said right now. And I got goosebumps, look. Beautiful, beautiful. Lucio, it's not the end yet, okay? Let's play now the word association game. I'm going to give away some words. Just tell me one word that comes to your mind. Quick thinking, okay?
Okay.
So, I hope you are enjoying the interview. Before we do the word association game, don't forget to give a like, don't forget to share this video, and also don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Just click on the button right there. Thank you so much and enjoy the word association game. One word for family.
Love.
How about money?
Necessary.
Yes. One word for love.
Soul.
Life.
Happiness.
One word for sex.
Amazing.
Politics.
Is politics. Human being is just one word, so I cannot say that.
It's okay. Okay, you can say just
human being view.
Okay. One word for religion.
A path to God.
Fear.
We should avoid it.
One word for friendship.
A bless.
Desire.
Important.
Regret.
Avoid it.
Success.
A goal.
One word for wish.
Wish.
Yeah.
Travel.
One word for happiness.
Family.
One word for Azores, the island where you grew up for a while.
A dream.
One word for Rio de Janeiro.
Beauty. Beautiful city.
One word for Brazil.
Great people.
And the last two ones now. One word for O Maestro das Baleias. One word for your novel.
An accomplishment.
One word for A Sombra das Cerejeiras.
It's touching.
Amazing. Okay, let's pretend now I'm going to meet your lovely wife for a coffee, yeah? And I'm going to ask her, tell me the most beautiful thing about Lucio and tell me something that he still needs to work on, to improve on. What she would say?
The most beautiful thing? She would say, I'm a friend. She is gonna say about my loyalty. Thing that I should still change. I think she's gonna say about jealousy.
I knew it. And if I would ask the same question to your son, what would be the answer?
I think more than anyone, he would say friend for the good thing, and for the bad thing. Actually, he never mentioned about that with me because I have to say just a word, or I can explain that?
You can explain, of course.
Okay, William. So it's not easy when you are a son of someone that is very talkative, that is always doing interviews like that. So I think sometimes it's challenging, and I'm always checking with him how he feels about it. I'm just gonna give you one example. He just graduated in high school, and all his classmates, all his friends are in my Instagram, and they talk to me, they chat with me. So I don't know why, but I mean, I know it's not easy, because when you are a boy, you mirror in your father. And if your father is something that is like iconic, like their friends used to refer to me as an iconic person, I don't know what that means, but it's not easy. So I don't know if he'd like to change that or not, but I think it's something that he could say. Sometimes he complained to me that, Daddy, you're always talking to all my friends in Instagram. I only see you are the only father doing that. They don't talk to any other father, just you. No, they are chatting in the Instagram, just answering, but
I think your son Caio, I think he just wants his dad for himself. I think he doesn't want to share his dad with other friends.
I'm gonna give another example. I like to dance. My wife likes to dance. So when we go to a party, and when Caio is with us, we go to the dance floor, and he doesn't. And sometimes I'm like dancing there, and when I look up to the mezzanine, Caio is there like.
There you go. He's again get the attention. Oh dear. Lucio, let's play now. Lucio and the Magic Box, and you can ask me a question. Okay, Lucio from Brazil, you can ask me a question now.
I would like to know what was the motivation for you to start doing this job you're doing.
Amazing question. Lucio, it's very interesting. When you're talking about your novels, I could see how much you appreciate them, how much you're literally shining talking about your books, about, and your job as well, what you're doing, you're working for the US government. I think when you do something that you love, that you appreciate, you don't see as a job, you see as a joy. And through my life, I also believe that all of us, every human being, we are capable to do different things in life, different careers, and still be happy. Yeah, we still can do different things and still be, appreciate what we do, and have a happy life. Doing something, different areas. I believe that as well. And when I picture myself doing different things, I still can be happy. I could, be doing some like teaching. I would love to be a teacher. I'd love to be a lawyer. I remember as a teenager, I'd love to be a lawyer. It was one of my dreams. And actually, I applied to the university at the time before I left Brazil. And unfortunately or fortunately, my parents couldn't afford to pay the university because it was private. So I had the opportunity to go to Portugal, and I didn't think twice. I didn't mention that, but I lived in Portugal for 5 years before living in London. Anyway, back to the question. I always was asking myself, William, what you came to this world for? What is your joy? What's something? And I couldn't have an answer. But I knew one day it would come. I knew one day I would, would come somehow. And around 3 years ago, I was talking to an English friend. We were talking about careers, about jobs, about life. And I told him, I was having this conversation with him, and I said to him, look, I still didn't find I'm a very happy person. I work, I do a lot of things, and I'm happy, but I didn't find yet the thing that I wake up every single day to do it and go to bed every single day thinking about. Until 2020, when the world went upside down, I went for a run in the park, and this idea came along, and I was like, oh my God, that's something that's I meant to do. And as you were mentioned before, that at the time, all of us, the uncertainty about the COVID crisis was very big. No one knew what was happening. No one knew what would happen in the future because everything was upside down. And a lot of people, they suffer a lot with mental health problems. They suffer a lot of things. And I found myself as well in a very dark place. I couldn't find myself. I was a bit, I was sad. I didn't know what was happening in the world. You know what I mean? It affected me a lot. But I strongly believe as well that all of us, our creativity, as you said before as well, all of us, a lot of things that was hidden there, we went down and we find out this creativity. So the big inspiration for me to do that, Lucio, it's me. When I look back in my childhood, or when I was a teenager, I was doing that. I was like, tell me, what's your favorite color? Who's your favorite teacher? Tell me what's your best thing about your parents. So when I look back, I was doing that already. So it's something that, it's me. This project is something that it's so natural for me that I forget that I'm recording. I just remember when I talk about that recording, because I feel like I'm talking to a friend. I feel like I'm having a conversation with a friend. And so these projects, the big inspiration, it's about me expressing myself and letting my guests around the world be themselves as well. So yeah, that's the answer to you. It's about me expressing myself.
It's amazing. It's amazing. Yeah. This is one of the good things of the COVID too. A lot of people discovered their talents, especially in the communication, in the network, in the social media. I mean, I have a friend. His daughter was studying, doing her master degree in Portugal. And during COVID, she was locked down in Lisbon inside an apartment. And she started playing those games in the computer. And then discussing in her YouTube account about the games. She's now I think it's a streamer, the name. Yeah. And she is an influencer. I mean, she discovered a new life and a new job. Wow. She does not care about the master's degree anymore because she is now making money and I mean, feeling totally completed with these jobs she's doing for kids, discussing with them and explaining strategies about the game, blah blah blah. Very nice, very nice.
Yeah, I think there's always, any kind of challenges in life, there's always something positive to take out of the challenge. You know what I mean? It's not easy for sure when we are facing a challenge, but when we see the positive part of it, that's what counts. That's what makes interesting. And of course, we should always be grateful as well for the downtime and the beautiful time, because we need to appreciate both. It's part of life.
And there is a sentence that I like very much that says that crisis has always opportunities.
There you go.
Yeah, you found yours.
Lucio, did you have a good time? Did you enjoy the interview?
Was amazing. I thank you so much, William, for the opportunity. I thank you so much for the patience to wait so much time until we could get together here in this interview. Was a very nice experience. Was amazing. I hope we can be together again.
Absolutely.
Maybe after the next book is going to be published. About dynamic meditation. We can talk about it during before the book fair.
Yeah.
or something like that.
We are connected now. We are connected now. So there's no way of now disconnection now. We are connected. That's what matters. Lucio, before we go, first of all, thanks so much for taking the time as well. I think nowadays, as you're a big example of it, you know, we are so busy with our lives. And when, for me personally, when I think that when somebody take their times for me, I feel very grateful because I understand nowadays everyone, we have our lives. We are so busy with our own lives. When someone gives their time to us, I think it's a gift. Thanks so much for taking the time. Thanks for being so open, talking about your memories in life. Thanks for sharing your experience as well. But before you go, if you can share a positive message or a positive quote, something that you live by.
Message. So I'm gonna share one message that I like to say, that life is a wonderful trip, and we are always making choices, and so that's what makes this trip wonderful, because we have a responsibility in our lives with the things that happens to us, and it's related to those choices. It's related to the way we react to the things that happen, not only the good things, but especially the bad things that happen. And it's okay when you have good and bad things in your way, but because the problem is not the bad things that happen, but the way you react to those bad things. And so about this reaction, about the choices we make, is what make life a fantastic journey. So I hope everyone stays nice, everyone that's watching this video. I wish you, all of you, blessing and health and all the good wishes I can have.
Amazing. Lucio, it was a pleasure. Thank you so much for the interview. And I'll meet you one day, maybe in Rio de Janeiro, or in London, or the US. You know, we are connected now. Thank you so much for the interview. Best regards for your wife, for your child, for your son as well. And we keep in touch. Thanks so much for the interview. It was a pleasure.
Thank you, William. See you. Bye.
So, did you like the show? Don't forget to give a like, to share it, and also don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And if you'd like to be part of the show as well, first, subscribe to our channel, and after that, just go to our website, www.williamandthemagicbox.com, and send us a request saying why would you like to be part of the show. And I see you there. Bye bye. See you next time.